Welcome back to Cord Cutting Today, where we break down some of the biggest stories happening in the world of cord cutting and give you my opinion on them. Stories like Newsmax is no longer going to be free. You're now going to have to pay if you want to stream it online or get a cable or streaming service that offers it. That's not surprising, but the reason why kind of is, and it tells us a lot about why other networks are not going free streaming. Next up is Disney wants to sell ESPN, and there's a report that Apple may be one of the interested buyers. We'll take a look at that. And lastly, for our lead stories, the fourth largest cable TV company has come out and said that cable TV is broken and not working. This model just doesn't work anymore. We're going to tell you all about that and more here in a second. First though, if you want to learn more about these stories and more, I'm going to cover a whole lot more in this video and answer your questions. Check out the show notes down below and in the first pinned comment. I'll put a link to each video there so you can re-involve them for yourself and come up with your own opinions. If you're new here, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up, let YouTube know you enjoy what we do here so YouTube recommends our videos to more people, helping us grow and hopefully helping you break free from the high cost of TV and still watch the shows you enjoy. So with that said, let's dive into it. Newsmax this week announced with very little warning, less than a day, that its free stream of Newsmax will be coming to an end. If you want to, you continue to stream it, you have to subscribe to Newsmax Plus, which costs $4.99 a month or $49.99 a year if you prepay. Now, not a big surprise here. They're trying to get some money, I get that. But what they said in their announcement was their contracts with cable TV companies are forcing them to do this. Now, earlier this year, over the summer, Newsmax, or early in the spring, I think it actually was, Newsmax went dark on DirecTV. DirecTV discontinued carrying it. They eventually re-added it. But one of the reasons that DirecTV said they dropped it is like, hey, why are we paying for this? It's streaming free online. Why are we paying for every one of our subscribers who don't all watch this channel for it? And that's probably what's happening here is Newsmax is facing an issue. If they want to renew with these cable companies, the cable companies are saying, we don't want you being free because it undermines us as a paid platform. And why are we paying you anything for that? Now, for example, there's roughly 50 million people still paying for a traditional cable service, whether that be YouTube TV, Chromecast, Spectrum, etc. And if you run that, now that's out of an estimated 135 million households in the United States. So the vast majority of people don't pay for a live TV service. But at about 10 cents a person, that's $5 million a month every month of those cable bills going to them. Even if it's just, I think that's at 10 cents. At 5 cents, it's like 2.5 million every month. That's money that's very hard to replace by streaming. And that's why we hear, why don't these smaller cable networks go streaming online for free? It's because it's still not as profitable as keeping it behind the paywall of cable TV. Someday in the future, as cable TV numbers come down, that may change. But for now, the reality is cable is still more profitable than trying to rely on ads. And that's why Newsmax is doing this. So we'll keep a close eye on this. I know a lot of people said they were upset about this. We'll see how it plays out. There will still be a free Newsmax, but it'll be called Newsmax 2. It's an alternate feed. Much like you see with many cable networks, it's not what's on the cable channel. It's a delay of it. It's alternate, maybe original programming, and more there. All right, let's keep moving along. Disney wants to sell part of ESPN, and according to Bank of America, per a Reuters report, Apple is reportedly a likely buyer for it, and ESPN will be worth $24 billion. Now, that's not what Apple will pay. That's the total cost. And Disney's only looking to sell part of ESPN. Now, through this, what's happening here is Disney wants to launch a direct-to-consumer streaming service. Now, with that, they said they're looking for partners that can help them do that. They were interested in selling maybe part of ESPN to them to do that. Now, with that, there's a few things here. Number one being that they're looking for somebody who can help them. There's been reports that major leagues like NFL, NHL, NBA, and more have been approached to buy this because they can bring content with this deal. And there's even been talks that if an NFL deal happens, ESPN will take over the NFL Network and NFL Red Zone. We'll see how it plays out. It's all what ifs right now. The other possible people that can help Disney, offer a direct-to-consumer service is a technology company that can help them with the technology to run it. Apple's a big one. Verizon's another one mentioned in this article. They have a big network of servers and providers that can help host this and manage it. We'll see. Of course, you know, if NFL buys in, they're more likely to put NFL games and more on ESPN Plus and more. NHL, NBA, all that, bring them their content. We'll see how this all plays out. But Apple has been that one that a lot of people have wondered. Apple could benefit by getting maybe Apple TV Plus to be the home of the ESPN Direct. And if you want ESPN Direct, you get it through Apple TV Plus, helping them grow. We'll see what happens there, but a lot of moving parts here. We'll see. A lot of people have pegged it for 2025, 2026 launch date for this direct-to-consumer option. We may learn about a potential buyer earlier for a minority share of ESPN. We'll see what happens. Now, ESPN's hinted the growth of cord cutting could speed up that launch date. We'll see what happens. All right, the fourth largest cable TV company CEO says cable TV is just not working. Now, this is Atlas USA. It's the fourth largest cable TV company in the United States by subscribers. Of course, this week they reported earnings. They lost 77,600 TV customers. They also lost internet customers once again. And their CEO, when asked about the Disney deal and the status of cable TV, came out and said, "The model is broken. I just have to say, for the last 10 years, consumers have made it clear that there is a significant shift from linear to streaming, and yet the costs for linear have continued to rise. And we, as distributors, need to find ways to work with our programming partners to put the customer at the center. We need to give them great value." So the current model is not working. What can they do to give them great value? We'll have to wait and see. But they joined pretty much every cable TV company this year has lost subscribers. Clearly something's not working there. We'll see what happens. All right, a lot of other news and your questions coming up here at the end. So let's dive in here real quick to go through some of this. Disney has confirmed it's entered into a deal to buy the remainder shares of Hulu from Chromecast. That deal will close by December 1st. And it will reportedly be about $8.61 billion Disney will pay Comcast for that. When that actually happens, we'll have full coverage of it over at Core Cars News, and we'll see. The question is, what would that mean for the future of Hulu? I'll talk about that at the end of the video. All right, Google Chromecast. I don't know if you've noticed the Chromecast with Google TV, 4K and HD, has been on a big sale all over pretty much every major seller. It's also been removed from the Amazon store. The official Google account selling it's no longer there. You can still find used ones for sale on Amazon and some random third-party sellers selling some, but the Google Chromecast with Google TV is no longer being sold by Google on Amazon. Walmart, Best Buy, and others have massive sales. Does this mean a new one's coming? We've heard rumors all year a new one's in the works. It's kind of getting late in the year, but this is typical pre-new device behavior. We'll have to keep a close eye on this, but we reached out to Google for comment. They declined to comment, did not get back to us about why it's no longer for sale on Amazon. All right, we announced earlier this week, we had the full breakdown of everything new in Pluto TV. And I mentioned in that post, hey, Pluto TV has a habit of releasing other stuff without warning. They just did that, actually. Not even a few hours later, it felt like they did it. But Pluto TV just added 8 new holiday channels, including content from Lifetime and Hallmark. This includes movies by Lifetime, Hallmark movies, and more, Pluto TV Christmas, and then some Yule log channels, some fireplace, different ones with different music or just fireplace. You also get Home for the Holidays, Venmo, Holiday Music channel, and a Spanish channel, I believe, if I read the notes correctly. 8 new holiday channels, mostly Christmas themed, to get you in the mood for the holiday season. Halloween's over, folks. Christmas is here. Forget about Thanksgiving. It's straight to Christmas. All right, let's keep moving along. Speaking of earlier this year, in the spring, Amazon started putting warnings on products that were often returned. To help kind of cut back on returns, they would start to include warnings to say, hey, this product is often returned, kind of like buy at your own risk. Well, now Amazon has included a warning that says customers usually keep this item. It's not really a warning, just a notification. Much like the customers often return, this one says, hey, this is a product that's rarely returned. It's a product often customers keep, which is one more point of data to help people decide which products are right. I love this. I love it when I'm looking at 2 products. I was looking at some new winter gear yesterday, some new hats. It's in Michigan. It's already been very cold. And was looking to get a new hat that would be a little bit warmer and was debating between 2. If one of them had an often returned and one of them had an often kept message, that would definitely help me decide which one I want to get. So I absolutely love that Amazon's including that. And lastly, the FCC has started the process to raise the minimum speed requirements to be called broadband speeds. Now, this really doesn't mean much for you, but this will mean much for internet providers who want to get FCC money to help them expand their networks. Currently, I believe it's about 20 down can qualify for broadband speed internets. Under the new rules that they're looking at creating, it will be 100 down. So you'd have to offer at least 100 down. So that means if you're looking to get money from the FCC to expand your internet service, you're going to have to offer a minimum of 100 down to be considered a broadband service. We'll see how that plays out. I like this. I actually think it's about time that we do this. The reality is, though, most Americans, you can't even get under 100 down. I think I saw Comcast in pretty much every area is now 300 down or something like that to start with, and it goes from there. So we'll see what all happens with it, but let me know what you think. We'll watch this very closely. These are just a fraction of the stories I talked about today that came from Core Cars News yesterday. So head over there, corecarsnews.com, check out all the stories we cover. And also, on our homepage on the right-hand rail, if you're looking at a desktop or at the bottom on a mobile device, we have a subscribe to the newsletter. Go to corecarsnews.com, subscribe to the newsletter there to get even more stories emailed to you every morning. All right, question of the day. This one, Jared, Jared, that's what it is, Jared. I apologize, I misread your username. But your question was, what will happen now that Disney will own 100% of Hulu? Great question. So, probably not in the immediate future. So it's expected, they announced by December 1st, Disney will close its deal with Comcast, become the sole owner of Hulu. Now, for the last few years though, Comcast gave up their board seats. They became a minority, what's often referred to as a silent partner. Even though they owned part of Hulu, even though they got a check of any revenues that came into Hulu, Disney had 100% control of the day-to-day operations and of the board. So in the immediate future, nothing. But in the long term, there are some changes. Disney's already announced they intend to merge Hulu service into the Disney Plus app. So the Disney Plus app will now have ESPN Plus, Hulu, and Disney Plus in a single app in a single user interface. That's expected now sometime early next year. At that point, it raises the question. We're already seeing a lot of Hulu's content be moved into Disney Plus. Some content like Doctor Who, which was on Hulu and other places before, is now going to be exclusive to Disney Plus. Other content, some Hulu original movies and more, is now available on both. Wouldn't surprise me in the long run if we do see Hulu merge in, maybe become an add-on for Disney Plus. You get Disney Plus and then you can add Hulu for some additional content. I don't know. When Disney Plus first launched, many people thought, hey, it makes sense. Disney Plus, all the Disney content, all the family-friendly content. The more mature, non-Disney branded content goes to Hulu. Well, that immediately started to be blended together as things like The Simpsons went to Disney Plus. And now increasingly we're seeing a lot of originals go to both in a way that we haven't before. Disney Plus aired an NFL game on Disney Plus, even though it was a kid version of it. But we're seeing more and more of that merger. So I would not be surprised in the long term if these two merge or Hulu becomes an add-on of Disney Plus. That's speculation though. In the short term, nothing's going to change. Remember, Disney's already had 100% control of Hulu for years. This is just completely removing Comcast from the equation. Well, that's it. Oh, I have to say though, this was also part of the deal for Comcast to give Disney 100% control of the board and day-to-day operations was the fact that Disney agreed in the future, which is now, to buy the remainder of Comcast shares. So that's it for today. Hope you have a fantastic day. Hope you have a fantastic weekend. I'll talk to you all again real soon.